My name is Jerome Alphonse. I lead the student professional development team. I'm based in Mauritius on our Mauritian campus. And there is a possibility of us catching up during this term. I might be traveling into Kigali, I think mid-October, and I'll be staying around 3 to 4 weeks to engage with you, do some workshops, and bring you the support you need, pretty much. So we'll move into it. Today's session is all about SPD. So we gave you a bit of, let's say, entry level, a high level, really, information about what the SPD team does and who we are. But today we're going to dive a bit more into the specifics of our offerings, how to engage, and what are some of the mindsets and tips and advice that would be useful for you to adopt as a student starting their ALU experience and starting their ALU journey. So as you see, this session is named Connecting Your Academic Journey to Professional Success with SPD. So ideally, what we want you to do is, yes, chart your way through your academic journey, but also don't stop or do start and don't stop thinking about how all of this ties into your professional success and your professional development, because it is an integrated journey, so to speak. Or not even so to speak, it is an integrated journey. Your academics define to some extent what field or industry or job you want to go into, aligned with other elements. And then obviously the professional success and professional development should align also with your academic journey to make sure that you end up by the end of your degree program with meaningful opportunities to engage with and a clear, let's say, clear idea of how to move forward and navigate the world of work pertaining to your mission, your ambitions, and everything that you have set out for yourself. So we're moving into the content, just a little agenda. We'll be going a small introduction. You'll be meeting again, or introducing you to, I don't know if everyone's on the call, but you'll be meeting the SPD team again, how SPD supports you, which is again a bit of an overview of our offerings, but I'll be diving a bit deeper into what each and every one of these are and how they work. We'll be going over a bit of how to connect really your professional development with your academics, some tips, pointers, and need to knows. Sorry for the little caps mistake there. Then I'll be running you through the SPD hub, to which you all pretty much should have access at this point. If you don't, I'll run you through how to actually get it when the time comes, at the end of this session, and then we'll reserve some time for a bit of questions and answers, so you have the opportunity to clarify anything that you have not understood. All right, I think we're all good to go. All right, small introduction. This is really to start prompting you about how to think, or what students think about SPD and professional development in general when moving into university. So our core mandate being to empower you and provide you with the resources and the knowledge, soft skills, the insights into industry to allow you to be prepared for the world of work and ready to engage in meaningful opportunities. That feeds you both as an individual and a budding professional. I say budding professional because obviously you're not there yet, but it all starts with your tertiary studies and building up that experience. So it is true that engaging with a team is something that does not necessarily come naturally to most students, and this is really because of a lack of insight into how we bring an added value to the student population. What we do to do that as well. So this session will be, again, as I said, dedicated to bring you through our offerings in a bit more detail, so you as students can gather a better understanding of how your professional development is pivotal to your entire ALU journey and experience, so that you can also start intentionally and strategically thinking about planning, preparing, practicing, and performing throughout the first year is much more of planning and preparing. But then again, depending on where you are in your different terms, plan, prepare, practice, perform takes place entirely in each of the different modules and each of the different experiences in which you engage with. Again, if you have any questions on whatever point during the presentation, please jot them down in the chat box. Frida, who is our SPD intern, who will be introduced to again in a bit, will take them down, and at the end of the session, we'll make sure to answer as many questions as we can. All right, let's dive into it. Team, I don't know who's on the call. The other team members that have a couple of engagements and meetings, but I'll call on Frida as I know she's on the call. Could you please unmute and put your camera on so everyone can see you? Introduce yourself to our new September 2024 intake, please, Frida. Launch us off.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing all? I hope you are enjoying Kigali so far, because all of you are on field right now, are experiencing the beautiful campus that it is in Kigali, Eli Rwanda. I'm so happy to be with you again. I'm very sorry that I didn't have that I'm not able to put on my camera, but I'll be happy to meet each and every one of you in person, and I will be saying hi's just to pay off because I wasn't able to put on camera today. My laptop has some technical issues that are yet to be resolved. I hope you get to experience what we have for you, the offers, the opportunities we have. I always tell people that opportunities are just at your fingertips. It's just for you to know how to utilize them, or to take them or throw them, or to actually gather them and then utilize them. So today is a great session. It promises to be very insightful and communicative of what we have for you. Please pay attention, stay at the end till the end of the session, ask questions, put in some curiosity, is there something that you are expectant to see, or any questions you can have, really. We will be happy to have them and help you throughout. That's why we're here. I'm your fellow student. I almost forgot to tell you. I'm your fellow student, so I can easily understand you more than all of these members. I'm sorry, Jerome and Patrick, to put you out, but I can easily relate with them. I can easily speak on their behalf and raise their concerns. So you're my fellow students. I'm happy to have chats with you, be in person, because I'm based in Rwanda. So I'm looking forward to those interactions. But in this case, please be proactive, be chatting in the chat box, send us messages, questions, and everything. We'll be happy to make this as interactive as it can be. As you can see, this is not a class. It's a team. So feel free and have a great session.
Thank you so much, Frida. Again, yes, please do, as Frida said, engage, ask your questions, be curious. It's the only way to really figure out and find out. Patrick, are you on the call? Patrick, are you there? Could you briefly introduce yourself if you're there? You're on mute, Patrick.
All right, let me unmute him.
All right.
Patrick, give me a minute. I'm sorry. Okay, could you unmute? I sent you.
Yes, I think I can do that now. Thank you, Frida. I mean, these are some of the new things that the young people are doing that we are struggling to cope with. Muting and making sure that you struggle to mute. Anyway, so my name is Patrick. I think we did the introduction the other time we met you. So I'm currently in Ghana. I work remotely since 2022, and I enjoy my work. Like Frida said, we are in charge of organizing events and many other things. So if you hear or if you have any email or an invite in your calendar, remember it is coming from our team, and myself and Frida for that matter. I be happy to see how you engage today, to understand SPD and how we do things, to know how it connects the dots between your academic and that of the professional that you are going to be very soon, and deal with the challenges that we have in our continent. So I'm happy to be here, and I'm seeing how you're going to engage. Thank you. I think Felix is also here, so I'll throw you to Felix.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Felix.
Maybe he left. I can see him on the list of the participants. When he comes,
Yeah.
he will get a chance to introduce to the students.
Okay, no worries. Thanks for that, Frida. I don't think Safari is on this call as well, but if you are, please let us know. I think Safari as well had a meeting at the same time. I'm not totally sure. But Safari and Felix work very closely together. Unfortunately, Felix is transitioning out into a new opportunity at the end of this month. So he's with us until the end of September. So make the most to engage with him and learn from him before he transitions out. Maybe give him a follow or add him on LinkedIn as well to follow on his career journey. Felix is as well as the other team members are very inspiring and have a wealth of knowledge to share with you, insights and personal journey and lessons to share. So don't hesitate to reach out to any member of the team for any support or assistance. Moving on. So really want to own in on how will the SPD team provide you with support during your ALU experience. So it all starts with for the fact that we're present, right? But not a lot of universities have, let's say, as many career-oriented or professional development-oriented initiatives running. It's something that we've noticed that our partners appreciate a lot, the fact that our students are prepared and responsible. And that's exactly what we expect, right? So the only fact that we're present on campus virtually, and the fact that you can reach out and book us in to get one-to-one customized support or access to the resources, opportunities, and all the different things that we do is the primary thing, right? So we are present, we're here to support and to assist you. And this is why we do, the reason why we do what we do is because we're all passionate about youth development and really want to see changes on the African continent based on, the different GCs and GOs that you would have hopefully already been introduced to at orientation. So how does the SPD team support? What are our different offerings? Just to remind you, first of all, we have what we call the Employability Enhancement Program. So you will see it in each academic year in the second term that you engage with, you'll be enrolled into course of the Employability Enhancement Program. So course 1 in year 1, course 2 in year 2, and course 3 in year 3, all of them in second term. Now, this Employability Enhancement Program was designed by the team, mainly Patrick. So kudos to you, Patrick, once again, for putting this all beautifully together and initiating the collaboration within the team as well. What this content is asynchronous content that we would expect you to engage with in parallel with your professional skills lab module, and that will be, you'll be engaging with that next term. Knowledge of different mindsets, as technical and not, but a bit of technical as well, into those skills that are in demand in the market as well, the skills that employers actually the team, scale products, scale your businesses. So it's one of the biggest products that we've launched in the past year. We've put a lot of effort into it. We'll obviously continuously be iterating on this as we move through the different terms and the different years, and we identify skills and information and knowledge that would bring you value based on where you are in your academic journey. So if we look into the Employability Enhancement Program Course 1, it mainly focuses around building your resume, building your cover letter, getting prepared for interviews, a bit of work ethic. There's a piece, or there's two pieces, two parts on presentation skills, because you'll be called upon to do presentations as students at ALU, and also when you move out into the professional world, it's something that is quite recurring. So obviously it gets a bit more difficult and challenging to go through as the years go by, because as you evolve as a student, you also evolve as a budding professional. So year by year, the information will get a bit heavier, but also we've designed it in a way to make it accessible to everyone so that you can engage easily and test your knowledge as well through the different quizzes that we've put online. So the Employability Enhancement Program, keep your eyes open. In the second term of each academic year that you engage with, you'll be enrolled. You can start engaging. It's a self-paced course, but then again, we would expect you to align those with what's happening in your second term as well. And when you get to that point, we will be fitting you in on how to go around that. The second thing, and this is maybe one of the most, I would say, value-added spaces that we have, is the one-to-one coaching conversations, where we open up spaces for students to book. Each of the team members has, I think, 4 days a week where we open slots of 30 minutes to welcome you to plan, brainstorm, set milestones and objectives, to really ensure, or to motivate and push you to see the value behind engaging intentionally and strategically with your career journey. I think you've maybe, or I hope you've already heard about the old adage, failing to plan is planning to fail. So make sure you already have a plan in mind. And if you're not sure about how to start that plan, obviously engage with us, book some sessions with us, and we'll continuously be there to support you. And again, these spaces could be for resume reviews, it could be for cover letter reviews, helping you through applications for opportunities, preparing you for interviews. It could be about self-evaluation and self-discovery, building certain skills, or directing you towards certain people. It really depends on what your objectives are. And if you have difficulty, once again, identifying those objectives, we are able to provide you a bit of support on that as well, as long as you reach out and you let us know what's on your mind, so we can engage in meaningful conversation with clear objectives and action items for you to fill in. The third one is our online weekly events and our signature events. So you probably have already started receiving events invitations, since last week. We had our first session on campus, and it was a hybrid event. We have a second session happening this Friday. It's all year groups of all intakes are invited to all our weekly events. We have 3 types of weekly events. We have career journey series, which are meant for seasoned professionals to come and tell their story, pretty much. What are the highs and the lows and the goes and the glows that they've been through in their career? And how can you take that information, really, this is the essence of why we do this. How can you take that information, contextualize it to your own journey? How can you be a bit function in foresight and proactively plan to engage with some of the challenges that people have experienced in your own way when you get to cross that bridge, so to speak. Other types of events, we have industry experts speaker series, where people from different industries come and speak to the different career opportunities that exist, or come to speak about their specific sector of expertise, just to lay out a bit of perspective and for you to discover what's out there in terms of opportunities. Believe me, if we haven't researched it, if we don't know, we don't know. And it's okay to not know. These are exactly the spaces you need to be in to actually discover, research, ask questions, build network, for you to actually understand, what are the things that are out there that you can consider as a future career. And our signature events, we have two signature events. One is Career Week, the other one is Career Fair. So the Career Week is a week of condensed workshops where we invite externals and internal ALU community members to come and share expertise, share knowledge, participate in discussions and conversations around the current trends in the labor market or the expectations of hiring managers or companies at the moment when it comes to graduating students or students as a whole. And the Career Fair is an in-person event which happens on campus, both at ALU Rwanda and ALCHE in Mauritius, where we invite a bunch of employers from different industries and sectors to come and engage with you and share opportunities. It necessarily for you to it is thus necessary for you to attend and discover these different opportunities, not only the opportunities, but discover the different employers, the different industries, build your network and ask questions that will help you identify what type of realm or sphere or arena that you want to move into pertaining to your career. And the fourth, and this is far from being the last, but not the least, offering is obviously our opportunities and our placements. The employer partnerships and placements workstream, so Felix and Safari, work tirelessly to engage with employers all throughout the year, throughout the days and the weeks, to nurture these relationships and extend internship opportunities, part-time job opportunities, casual job opportunities, and full-time job opportunities for graduate students or final year students. So again, this is something that obviously you need to keep an eye on, and I'll show you how in a couple of slides of how to do that when we go through the SPD Hub run through. Again, just a little reminder to insert your questions into the chat box, and they'll be answered at the end of this session. All right. Now, to start connecting maybe your professional development with your academics, it's very important to understand the link that exists prior to even you engaging with your studies. So I would imagine, and maybe with a show of a thumbs up on Zoom, how many of you thought about your career even before choosing the studies that you were into? Can we maybe get a show of thumbs? How many of you thought about what you're going to study based on a career that you've already thought of? Okay, one person, two people, three people. All right, 3 over 79. Okay, that's I think we can do a bit better in there. I hope there's others. 4. Okay. All right. So again, why is this important? Because no decision concerning studies or a job should be taken very lightly, right? This is our livelihood that we're talking about. And it's a passion most of the times as well. It's a cause, it's a mission that we highly, highly, highly relate to and want to make contributions to. So a lot of the secrets to identifying the right career path that exist are on your screen right now. People seek these different elements to be able to build the right career path for themselves. It has to be challenging enough. The colleagues that exist within those spaces would have to be supportive and also contribute to each other's growth. I would say colleagues contribute to your growth and vice versa. A lot of people nowadays, and this is very typical of, let's say, younger millennials, Gen Zs, and Gen Alpha, really want to see their purpose being put into play, right? What is the impact they're having on the society? And this is why ALU has spent so much time crafting the new learning model and bringing forward the focus on the grand challenges and the great opportunities of the African continent, so that you don't only drive your studies with a purely academic mindset, but you're able to put that in perspective throughout your ALU experience, start contributing to maybe solving certain problems that exist on the continent. So your impact is you already start making impact as an ALU student. Independence at work, you want to have certain autonomy, but you also want to be part of a team that works towards a greater purpose, I would say. Money, obviously, because, money is never to refuse, but also a salary is earned after a hard day's work. That, it's never easy. I think that's the most beautiful thing. The things that are worth it are never easy. It takes time, it takes hard work, it takes planning and focus and concentration. Skills development is obviously something that a lot of people look into, and as students, I would actually prompt you and motivate you to seek out skills development as something that you look for in each and every one of the opportunities, the internships, the full-time job, part-time jobs that you will be engaging with. It's very important that you be intentional again and strategic about what skills you need and want to develop, and how you shall develop them throughout the different things that you'll be engaging with. I already spoke about the networking opportunities, and this relates to career fair, but also relates to all the um, all the initiatives that are run on and off campus that relate to ALU. We have a lot of clubs and societies. We have a lot of different guests that come to campus. We have a lot of events happening on campus all year round. And it's always an opportunity for you to meet new people, meet professionals, ask questions, and be curious so you can actually figure out, how they navigated their world and their journey so that you could be inspired by and take example on that as well. Values and culture, because companies and organizations now are very value and culture driven, and we expect you as well to be the same, right? We want our students to hold very strong values, honesty, integrity, and all these different things that make us decent human beings in general, and also bring your culture, right? You want your culture to be accepted, but you also need to fit into a corporate culture. Your professional growth, which is tied in with the skills development, moving into certain experiences, you want to see yourself grow. This is why there's a link between academics and your professional development, because again, what you're studying at school, you're putting into practice at work, right? This is the simple way of putting it. And the more you put into practice, the more you grow, the more you develop your skills, the more that will be seen. And that's how you end up, getting promoted and figuring out different opportunities for growth and for development as well. And then again, travel, which is always an interesting part of any job if it's relevant to the job. I would say as ALU students to focus on maybe just a couple of these things, which would be first of all your impact on society, your skills development, your networking opportunities, and values and culture. Obviously, professional growth and skills development are kind of one in its same. But those are the couple that you really, really, really should focus on as ALU students starting your first year, first trimester, is what impact on the society. So really take the time to craft that mission and understand what contributions you want to bring to solve that problem. What are the skills that you need to develop to be able to solve that problem, either during and after your ALU experience? Who should you network with? Who are the people that are the trendsetters? Who are the influencers that are, setting these trends within these different industries and spaces? And also, what values do you espouse that other companies, share as well? But what are the values that you base yourself on to actually move through your life, not only your professional life, but your academic life, but your personal life as well? So really keep those few in mind. The others will come in time, about the colleagues, the challenges, being independent at work, the money, all of those will come in time. Would say focus on the others, because before you earn, the focus should be on learning. So learn before you earn, and once you have, and we continuously do, your earning capacity will then increase, and that will be a conversation for another time. A couple of tips and pointers now. This is maybe in relation to obviously this pie chart and what should be taken into consideration, but what are the things that you would need to consider as an ALU student engaging in professional development with the SPD team, integrated to your ALU experience, your academics, the people around you, the support teams, et cetera, et cetera? So first of all, I would say one of the things that we prompt our students to do is to really take stock and ask yourself the difficult questions. What am I good at? What am I not good at? What are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? What areas of development? What are the things I really need to work on and get better at because academically maybe I'm not doing very well at. So really sit down and self-evaluate. And this is something that we do in coaching conversations as well, is that we go through what we call a personal SWOT analysis, right? So what are your strengths, your weaknesses, what opportunities are in front of you, and what threats are ahead of you as well. And taking all of that into consideration, we're then able to strategize and put things in place, action steps in place for you to obviously act on to see yourself start growing, right? To transform your areas of development into strengths, for example, to leverage on the opportunities to turn those threats into non-threats, for example, as well. Next is develop your soft or what people call transferable skills, leadership, communication, critical thinking, problem solving, all of these different things that all of these different skills that people are expected to have at least a foundational knowledge or experience in when they join the job market during or after their studies, right? Super important because you will keep on bringing your soft skills or these transferable skills from opportunity to opportunity, career to career, job to job. You might not be using the same technical skills in every job that you take, but you'll certainly be using all of those transferable skills, people management, teamwork, collaboration, communication, all these things to ensure that by the end of the day, the work is done and well done, right? May it be from an academic perspective or a professional perspective as well. Yes, there exists a multitude of clubs and societies on campus. My recommendation would be to be curious, suss out what these clubs and societies are, align with your passions and your interests. Why? Because obviously extracurricular activities and engaging in these initiatives is added value in your resumes and your job applications, but for yourself as well to be able to meet new people, discover new cultures and new countries and new mindsets and new ways of thinking and opinions. It's very important at university to expand on your thought processes and making sure that there is a place to share and debate, obviously with respect added to that. So join the clubs and societies, become curious, discover people, discover the initiatives, contribute to the projects as well, so that you add value to your resume ultimately as well. The fourth one, stay in contact with opportunities. And I'll go through this a bit later when we do the run through of the SPD Hub. So why stay in contact with the opportunities? Because they are ever evolving, right? There's always going to be a new opportunity up on the SPD Hub, if not every day, every 2 days. There's constantly employers reaching out to us for collaboration and cooperation. Every time we receive an opportunity, we post it up. It's quite specific when it gets specific in terms of targeted audience and what type of students, what type of experience they're looking for, and all the information you would need to take an informed decision of whether to apply or not eventually is on the board in the job descriptions that we post. So stay in contact with the opportunities, identify the ones that make the most sense to you after obviously being through that self-evaluation element of that we just spoke about, sorry. Again, being intentional about the way you navigate so that every single opportunity that you decide to engage with, whether professional or academic, on campus, off campus, makes sense and adds value to the mission that you're on. Very important thing is get to know the ALU community. There's a bunch of interesting people within the community, whether they're online, in person, whether they come to campus sometimes or not. The community is always ready to engage and support. May it be the facilitators, your learning coaches, mission curators for the more academic side, and really owning in on your knowledge and experience in your different missions, but also the student support teams. There isn't only the student professional development team. There's the writing center, there's the LEAP team, student success. There's a multitude of other teams. There's the library, the student life as well. So engage with these teams, get to know the ALU community so you know who to reach out to for what challenge that you have. A couple more. Build fundamental knowledge and skills. So this the difference I want to make between building fundamental knowledge and skills, building transferable skills, is that in any job, it's always useful to have fundamental knowledge about key areas such as finance, marketing, human resources, supply chain, value chain, distribution, all these different things. This is maybe called being commercially aware, right? So we're aware of how different industries work, one, but also how do businesses work in general. So if I understand a bit of finance when I'm studying a software engineering degree program, but if I understand a bit of finance and how to get out a financial proposal for a client eventually, well, that adds a bit of skills and a bit of knowledge to your toolbox, I would say, or to your knowledge box that you can actually bank on and sell to employers, right? If you have these fundamental knowledge and skills. So again, it could be finance, it could be marketing, human resources, supply chain, logistics, social media. You don't have to be in social media, for example, to understand social media. I could be working in student professional development and still know what social media is and how to go about building campaigns, et cetera, et cetera. But also consider that all of these things need to make sense towards your mission, and they need to contribute to you achieving that mission at the end of the day. Number 7, don't remain unaware. Please engage in the offerings, if not for curiosity, for value adding, right? So yes, you don't necessarily know in depth what conversations and discussions we engage with in our different events, for example, but come and be curious and engage to discover, right? So as soon as the discovery phase is gone through, you understand, okay, what type of discussions and conversations happen in these different spaces? What are the different opportunities to engage, professionals, a different network are? Then you start adding the value to yourself, right? It's super important that you're not kept in the dark, or you don't keep yourself in the dark as well. So don't hesitate, get out there, build your self-confidence, and engage in the SPD offerings as you should engage in the different offerings should you need them of the other student support teams. Number 8, I maybe should have put this in a higher position, but this isn't in order of importance. As from this term, I would recommend that you already start drafting a CV/resume, or what we call a base cover letter, right? Why now? First of all, it's always good to get a bit of a head start. But as you go through this first term, which is cram-packed with information, moving into the second term is when you'd have to ready things, and we don't want you to get overwhelmed or take too much time on it. The fact is that you need to be planned, intentional, and strategic once again. So start drafting a resume and a cover letter as of now, and that's something, again, we can help you on during coaching conversations. If you have that already on your computer or on a pen drive, you already have a bit of a head start when it comes to launching into the internship hunting or internship sourcing and securing them for the future as well. Build your network. I've been through this, and this is possible in many different ways, may it be off campus or on campus. There's always an opportunity to participate in different initiatives, regardless of the team. It starts within, right? So build your network with the people who are closest to you, who are your peers, your colleagues as students, but also your faculty. Where it becomes a bit more specialized and with your ambitions and your aspirations. And 10, again, last but not least, this is something that we're more and more intentional about speaking to students about, is planning. Planning smart goals, smart objectives, so that you see yourself through the terms or through the years ticking off those boxes, adding to your professional knowledge and professional experience, adding to your good grades, added to the different, again, initiatives and projects and contributions that you'll be part of. Make sure you have a plan on how to develop and acquire certain skills and certain knowledge. You know, reaching out to people who are not necessarily very close in your network, but you can have access to through existing members of your network. So make sure you have that plan in place. And again, very, very happy to engage with you to actually start building that plan for you to be intentional and strategic. The second term students, to provide them a bit of context into what they should be expecting their second term to look like. And I really wanted to own in on this a bit to really show you how, not necessarily long it takes, but what are the different steps that you have to consider when thinking of or starting to engage with your professional skills lab modules and your skills immersion modules, which I suppose, and I hope you have already heard a bit about during your orientation. So, oops, sorry about that. So if we consider starting point and the end point being your offer received, there's a lot of things that need to happen. And I'm really showing you this as a bit of awareness, really, because the earlier you start, the more of a head start you'll get, actually. So we prompt students to start thinking a bit more seriously about this at the beginning of term 2. But if you start thinking about it in term 1, you'll already be geared up to start engaging full-heartedly and full throttle in term 2, and you already have a really good head start. And I really like to just, really like to bring you through all of these different steps that we consider students need to go through to actually get to where they want, which is these different internship cycles, right? It doesn't happen in a day. It doesn't happen in a week. It doesn't happen in a month either. It's a continuous work in progress that you have to engage with. And again, as I said earlier on, it all starts with your self-evaluation and setting goals. You need to understand who you are, what you stand up for, what are your values, your interests, your passions, what are your personality traits, for you to start seeking things that are aligned with yourself. And then as soon as that is done, you can start goal setting, planning and mapping the different things that you want to go after. Now, the goal setting, planning and mapping is a crucial part because we need you to be curious and explore what are the different careers, what are the different industries, what are the different activities that you are interested in going into and contributing to, whether it's marketing, whether it's climate action, whether it's women empowerment, job creation, regional integration, all these different things, the GCs and GOs. Yes, it contributes to your academic journey, but how does it fit into your professional journey, and how should you be taking that into consideration as well? Done the mapping, you've discovered and explored certain careers and certain career paths. What about the industries now? What happens in those industries? What are the trends that are happening? What can you see? What are the different initiatives? What is the evolution and the development? What has changed for the past 5 years that has led us to where we are now in these different industries? Again, it's a continuous work in progress. You don't necessarily have to do that at this stage. You can already start building more awareness on the industries you are curious about. But it's important in the timeline of things to self-evaluate, goal set and map, but then build the awareness, build the knowledge about the spaces that you are going into, right? You want to be knowledgeable about these places that you're moving into. Once that is done, you search opportunities through the SPD Hub or through other means. We really push our students to what we call self-source, which means taking the time, jumping on the internet, researching internship opportunities that aren't on the SPD Hub, but through other job boards and other institutions that exist either on the continent or around the world as well. And if you want to link us up with those employers to extend those opportunities to other students, please do reach out as well. I'll be bringing you through how you can do that a bit later. And then the application starts, or the initial application phase starts, sending in your CV/resume, writing your cover letter, hopefully going through that whole selection process of assignments, interviews, panel interviews, final interviews until you receive your offer. Once again, we don't expect you to engage with this timeline right now. What is important for you to understand through the presentation of this timeline is that the earlier you start, the better off and the less overwhelmed you'll be when time actually comes for you to engage, because we don't want you to be overwhelmed. We want you to plan out ahead so that you know every single week you dedicate a couple of hours to each of these things. Let me self-evaluate. What are my skills, strengths? Okay, what are the different industries I'm interested in? Where do I want to go? Where do I want to work? What are the different opportunities I can look into? I will send my applications and et cetera, et cetera. So it's not necessarily engaging with it, the whole of it now. It's starting to reflect on how early you can start to get ahead of the bunch, bring all the chances to your side to be ready as possible when you graduate at the end of your studies. Right, I'm going to shift pages. Sorry about that. I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second there. Also, if we have a couple of questions, I can take them right now. I just need to open the SBD Hub on my side, and then we will get started with the little run through. Frida, are there a couple of questions I can answer at this point in time?
Definitely. Some of the students have reached out, would like to know how they can access the SPD Hub to book coaching sessions. I've answered a few, but you can give more clarifications. And some have asked about the clubs. Do you prefer me reading one question by one?
I guess if it's pertaining to clubs and societies is handled by the student life team. So reach out to the student life. Community and culture would be the student life team that you would want to reach out to. But Dr. Natalie is on campus, so that she would be the best person to engage in conversation with pertaining to clubs and societies.
All right. Let me see. This is a very good recommendation, and I think something that can be suggested to the. All right. Alida Gisagara has asked, can someone work full time as they enter the second term, year one? And Zubail has responded.
Yeah.
I believe most of the questions have been answered within the chat box. So we should worry much, yeah.
Okay, great. And thanks, Zubair, who is our Learner Development Associate Director, who manages the SPD team as well. So thank you for being on the call and responding to the query, Zubair. Much appreciated. I'm just going to reshare my screen now once I figure that out. Share. All right, let me know as soon as you see my screen.
Yeah, sure, we can see your screen.
Okay, great.
Would you
All right,
like to would you like to spread it abroad the screen?
Is it not taking up the whole screen?
No.
Okay, let me figure that out. Give me 1 second. Okay, what about now?
It's still the same, but we can easily see what you are presenting, so
Okay.
you should not worry much, yeah.
Okay, great. So students, this is the login page to our SPD Hub. I say this 1,000 times. My team is probably very sick of me saying this. It's what I like to call our one-stop shop for everything SPD. We'll run you through each and every one of the elements so you actually understand where you should go for what reason. So first of all, for those who have not signed in yet, when you get to this welcome page here, what you do is you click continue with Google. you'll see a pop-up that will come and you'll have to sign in with specifically your ALU student email. Not your personal Gmail account, but your ALU student email. If it's something else, it will not allow you to sign in. Now, once you sign in, you'll be prompted to this page. It gives you a bit of information on what our vision is, what our purpose is, and a couple of quick links to different things that might be of interest to you. So explore current opportunities. You can jump directly to book a coaching session, request an internship support letter, but I'll go through that a bit more specifically. If you scroll down, you'll have a bit of a highlight on each and every one of our offerings, as I said, a bit of a highlight on the different events that we run. Now, this is only I would say, the About Us / welcome page. I'm going to start off by going into the resources. And this is where it will be interesting for those who are already open and thinking about booking coaching conversations. You come directly to the resources. Don't click on the resources because that will bring you somewhere else. You hover over the resources button and you click on coaching conversations. And as soon as you do, and you scroll down, you have the team members who do coaching conversations that appear. And if ever you want to book a session with any of us, you click on that and you then choose the most suitable, I would say, time slot for you and as well the person that you're booking time in with. Now, again, just a kind reminder, coaching sessions, we appreciate students who come, all students who come, sorry. We also appreciate students who come curious, right? Who already have questions in their mind. If not questions, a plan or some idea of a plan. But if you don't have anything and you're confused and you have doubts, it's fine as well. We don't expect you to know everything and to have everything figured out as first-term students. Far from it. And that's why we exist as a support team, is to help you put those things into perspective so that you can chart your way forward, right? So this is the coaching conversations booking page. As soon as you click on one of these links, you'll be sent to another page, which is our appointment schedule page. And then you simply choose your slot. Very, very simple. What we ask you to do intentionally is add an agenda to your booking so that we understand when the booking comes through to us, what you want to discuss. What are your objectives? What are your doubts, your challenges? What do you want to accomplish by the end of the call that you have booked? All right, I'll go directly to learning resources, as internship support letters are not quite relevant to you right now. In the learning resources, we have a couple of interesting things. So first of all, I haven't updated a couple of these links there, but it will be done. Our employability enhancement program is housed not on this website, but it's housed on your learning management system, which you already probably have access to, which is Canvas. So these links here give you a direct access to Canvas, to the EEP course, Employability Enhancement Program, EEP for short. And you can start engaging as soon as you're enrolled, which again happens in every second term of every academic year that you'll be engaging with. If you scroll down, we have other learning resources and initiatives. These are for more second-year students, for example, but you can engage and sign up now, and they will get back to you. They have a waiting list that they engage with. The Global Mentorship Initiative, it has been built by people and executives that worked and still work for extremely well-known companies such as Microsoft, Google, and they're very passionate about youth development as well. This is why they started this Global Mentorship Initiative to run a 14-week program with eligible students as from year 2 to really bring them through a pathway that builds students up to compete, I would say, on an international level pertaining to global opportunities. Very, very interesting. We also have the IBM Skills Build. So we have, there's a bunch of courses that are on there. It's very similar to Coursera, but it's very focused on tech. Some of you may or may not know, IBM is one of the leaders in the tech space globally, and they have a bunch of resources, a bunch of courses that will serve to add value and add knowledge and skills to your repertoire. So engage, discover, be curious once again. If I click on the resources, not hover, but I click on the button of resources, you'll be brought to this page where you'll be able to discover a couple of things that you might want to engage with already. For example, there's already a resume template that we share with students to start engaging in that little process of getting your CV/resume on par and ready to go out for certain applications that you want to make. Same with the cover letter. There's a little guide on what to consider when you write your cover letter. If you scroll down, there's interview tips. There's tips on how to network wisely, resources for job searchers, and also the skills immersion guide. And this is for people who are mainly going into their skills immersion module or skills immersion term, which is normally term 3 of year 1 and year 2 for BEL students, and term 5, which is year 2, term 2 for BSE students. So don't necessarily overwhelm yourself with the skills immersion information right now, but in time, again, plan to do so as you move closer and closer to the moment that you will be engaging with this module. Yes, the events. If I come to the events side, what we do have here is previous events recordings. So for those who were not able to attend certain events, we make them accessible through this window. So you'll see there's a bunch of events here. Obviously need to update. This is where we want to update and include every single recording of every single online or hybrid event that we host. Obviously, it's a work in progress because we host one event per week, and we've done so for the past few years. So we're still busy recuperating all those and putting them up for your knowledge. They could be, again, info sessions with employers. There could be skill development workshops. There could be perspective building workshops and info sessions. It really depends on what you're looking for, but there's a really nice mix of a lot of valuable information and people to engage with as well. Again, yes, back to the events screen. This is where we normally have all our events up. So you'll see we are yet to put up the event for this Friday. But for example, the information isn't there anymore. Last week was the week before, sorry, was the Meet Global Leaders in Agriculture and Development, which was an in-person meeting. In these different spaces, you already have all the information, the time, the date, whether it's online, in person, where it is. And you also have links for registration as well. So do keep an eye on this as soon as it's updated. This is something that you would want to always bookmark, or actually the SPD Hub in total should be bookmarked for you to gain access rather easily when the time comes. So that's for the events. The other important part of the SPD Hub is the opportunities window, I would say. Now, again, we receive requests and employer partner positions on a daily, if not, every day or every 2 days. There's new opportunities up on the board, and you have all the information to engage with it. If you click on each of the there you go. If you click on any of the internship or full-time, part-time opportunities, you'll have the full job description to read through. What are the different expectations, what you will gain, why is this perfect for you? And then you'll have a link to actually apply for the job or the internship. Again, have the SPD Hub bookmarked on your main browser window when you open up your laptop in the morning, so you can just have a look on what's new and what's appealing. And if you want to apply and shoot your shot, then most welcome. I would However, make sure that you engage in the pathway that was explained just before. So the self-evaluation, the career exploration, building all of that curiosity up, building your skills in the first term so that you're ready to engage with these different opportunities as from the second term onwards. Again, you can already see that there are quite some interesting opportunities that are up. Beats by Dr. Dre. I'm sure that's quite appealing to quite the amount of people. The University of Pretoria, there's a scholarship program. So we have every and all opportunities, whether it's work, scholarships, internships, casual, everything is up here, specified if it's in Mauritius, in Kigali, and who are the targeted student audience as well. So those are the internships and jobs. If you would want to view other job listing sites, if you click on here, you will get access to other sites that we have positioned for you. You can view the page of the African Careers Network, Baobab, which should be the platform where you want to keep an eye out as MCF scholars, for those of you who are, and 80,000 hours. So these are three job boards that are quite good to bookmark as well when you start being really intentional about your internship search and looking for different types of opportunities. Right. The other sections that you see are purely administrative. What you'll see on your side is only the About Us, internships and jobs, events, resources, and that's those four pretty much. The other ones are for the admin view. Just to bring you through maybe quickly through the internship support letters. These are letters that you'll be requested in when you apply for internship opportunities moving into your skills immersion module. However, we are changing up the manner in which we get these letters to you. So you don't necessarily have to request them anymore. At the beginning of your second term, you will be sent your internship support letter so that as early as possible, you can start engaging with these application processes as you identify the different opportunities that you want to go for. So if you ever have any questions related to the internship support letters, please obviously reach out. But you can keep this on the back burner as we don't engage in the requests anymore. We automatically send them to you at the beginning of every second term for the term before your skills immersion. This goes for both BSE and BEL students. All right, if you go onto this page as well, if you scroll down, you also have the skills immersion onboarding document, and you have here what we call an ATS compliant resume template. ATS compliant means applicant tracker system compliant. This is the template that a lot of, if not all of ALU students use. We prompt you to use this because it is an ATS compliant template and it's easy to follow. This template is actually an example at the same time of a previous student who was at ALU, whose resume was deemed to be very effective and efficient when it came to scoring her internships. She had engaged with various internships of great value. We took her as an example to show you how it should be written, how the bullet points should be formulated, what the structure looks like, how clean it should be, etc., etc. So I prompt you, if you want to start working, which I recommend on your resume, download the template here. It will bring you to another window. You'll have to make a copy of this document, which you're prompted to directly. And as soon as you click on that, you will be brought to the template and start working on it and inputting your own information. All right, that is the run through of the different elements of the SPD Hub that you should be engaging with. Again, coaching conversations, you only hover over resources and then you click on coaching conversations. The internship letters, that's okay for now. Then the learning resources. If you click on resources, you'll be brought to another page where there's a couple of articles that have been linked up for your assistance and support. Then internships and jobs is where, and events are where you want to keep your eye out for the different events and engagements and people we bring on board for our virtual and in-person and hybrid events, and the opportunities that we extend to students for internships and other professional experiences. All right. Let me just reshare my screen. Right. Okay. All right. So that was the SPD Hub. SPD Hub. Again, what I do recommend is to save this in your bookmarks bar. So it appears every single time you open a new browser window. What I recommend as an employee and as for students as well is to always have one main window open with your email, your calendar, other websites that you should regularly be engaging with, so that it's always in front of you. As soon as you open your laptop or your computer, you have your email, your calendar, your drive, your Google Drive, and these different support sites or support platforms that you'll be needing to engage with, really. And one of them should be the SPD, so that you regularly keep an eye on what's happening and what are the updates. Again, we'll always be updating and bringing updates and different iterations to the way we do things, and where different information is placed. So as soon as there's updates, we'll definitely be making you aware of what's happened, and if we need to give you another session or a run through of the updates of the SPD Hub, we will do that in time for sure. Yes, another one of the main pointers and need to knows, which is for me one of the most important aspects of being an ALU student or any student, which actually feeds into your professional development, is to always check your mail. Make it a habit every single day before you engage with anything. Make sure to wake up early, brush your teeth, have breakfast, get yourself proper, check your emails, make sure you're up to date on academic related news, make sure you're up to date on any opportunities, any issues, any challenges that are communicated with you, any initiatives and projects and opportunities that are spread by not only the SPD team, but other teams as well. Make sure you check your email. It will help you now as a student, but it will help you even more when you move into the labor market, and to help you remain on top of your communications. It might be dicey and boring to engage with and typing out, etc., but it's something that you will be expected to do quite heavily when you move into the world of work. Again, if we relate this to our offerings, there is email etiquette content in the EEP that you'll be able to engage with us from next term when you're enrolled. Or, you can be proactive, start researching how to write formal emails, what language, what tone, and what formats are to be used in those in your professional emails when you reach out either to ALU internally or external members, employers, mentors, and coaches, for example. All right. Again, I just really want to reiterate the the four pillars that I've been that I mentioned at orientation. I mentioned a bit earlier as well, is to always start off with a plan. Again, failing to plan is planning to fail. And there exists planning to certain degrees, right? We don't expect you to have everything sorted out. You have a plan for the next 10 years. That's not what we're asking of you. We want you to be intentional about planning, yes, in the long term, but it all starts with planning for this term and maybe the next term. If you have that already in your hands, imagine what a head start you would have for the rest of your ALU experience. If you know that you plan it and put your plan into action and you follow up, you make sure that you're prepared to engage with your plan. Because yes, the planning is important, but the preparation is key. The planning could remain on paper, but if you don't prepare yourself mentally and physically and emotionally to engage with your plan, it's never going to happen, right? So plan, prepare to engage, practice. And when I say practice, this relates to what I mentioned a bit earlier, is engaging clubs and societies, participate in on and off campus initiatives that will help you build the skills, the network, the knowledge that you are seeking to, even the knowledge that you're not seeking to gain, right? You might learn different things haphazardly, which might be super interesting to you and an added value to your mission, right? As you keep on practicing, as you keep on actually planning, preparing, and practicing, you'll see yourself perform. And that's what I hope for you, and that's what I hope you hope for yourselves as well, is that you become more and more intentional as you go through adulthood, and your studies, your tertiary studies are maybe the stepping stone of adulthood, right? You acquire certain areas of responsibility that didn't exist before when you were at high school. This is what life requires us to do, to plan things, to prepare things, to practice, and to make sure that we are performing in these different areas of our life, right? May it be as a spouse, may it be as a facilitator, may it be as a student, may it be as a parent, as a son or a daughter, it really doesn't matter. But this is the essence of SPD. And I would say this is the essence of a lot of things in life: to plan, prepare, practice, and perform. So I really want you to remember those 4 Ps every single time you're engaging with something new, or you have an idea in mind. That your first reflex has to be, okay, I need to plan this out, prepare myself. And once those 2 steps are over, practicing becomes a bit easier, because you would know where you need to practice, because you would have already planned it and prepared to engage in that in those initiatives, right? Through the practicing, the continuous practicing, I would say, you end up performing. So really keep those 4 Ps in mind. Super essential to, I would say, any student success, and I would say any person's overall and general success in life, really. All right, how to get in touch. We don't have a habit to share our personal emails. We have general, let's say, team emails for any queries that you may have. So for any general SPD inquiries, you have the mycareer_RW@alueducation.com. You have trouble accessing some resources or trouble with the SPD Hub, you are seeking for information on events or different resources, you can for sure reach out to us on that website, on that email address, sorry. Anything concerning placement, for example, let's say that you engage with a hiring process with one of our employer partners or one of the opportunities that we've shared, and you have questions, doubts, you reach out to us on the placement email. And if you want to introduce us to an employer, and have that eventually employer become an employer partner, so that the opportunity that you scored is made available for a wider cohort of students, please introduce us to that employer. We will take up discussions as from there. I would kindly request that you stop doodling on the screen. That would be very kind of you. So yes, as soon as you have an employer, if your parents, uncles, family, friends are looking for interns and people to engage with different openings that they have, please send them through to us. It will be a great service that you're rendering to us as a team, but also to your fellow students as well. And now we move into Q&A. All right, I think, Frida, we are ready to engage with the questions, if there are any questions that have remained unanswered until yet.
Thank you so much, Jerome, for taking us through this presentation and explaining everything. Looking into the chat box, it looks like Zubair has been addressing all the questions in the chat box, and Patrick as well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I see a lot.
It's quite
Zubair,
clear.
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. Again, I see that a lot of students are resharing the SPD Hub address. If any of you have any question on how to access anything, please reach out to Patrick through the mycareer_RW@ALU Education. It would either be Patrick actually or Frida answering you.
What can we be expected to gain from this in a few words? That's the
Okay,
question
maybe a
from
question.
Gidwa.
Yes, I was going to answer exactly the same thing. If you can maybe specify what this means, I think that would be helpful.
I believe he wanted to mention SPD Hub.
Okay, so again, well, maybe the student arrived a bit after the launch of the event, but what you would be expected to gain, it really depends on what your plan is, right? So, given that the SPD Hub, if that's what you're referring to, is what you want. The SPD Hub is the one-stop shop for everything SPD. So if you want to book a coaching session, you want to register for an event, you want to access recordings to past events, you want access to certain resources and opportunities, etc., etc. This is the place that you want to go keep open, really, or keep bookmarked on your browser. So if that's what you're referring to, Iroa,
Uh,
that's what I would answer.
Jerome, we got another question from Robert Shubahiro. He asked, how can we reach out to any of you, any from your team, anyone from your team in person here at campus?
Okay, great question. Thank you, Robert. So for the moment, there's two of our team members on campus, I would say based in Kigali, Rwanda. We have Frida, who is a current student, and we have Safari Felipe, who is our Senior Employer Partnerships and Placements Associate. He also engages in coaching conversations as well. All you have to do, obviously, is if you're on campus, take a little walk to the staff area. Ask anyone around to show you where Safari is or Felipe is. They will direct you straight towards him. He's most days on campus. Sometimes he works from home when he needs to really dive into certain things for work, but he's mostly on campus most days, and he's very happy to engage with students as well as the whole team is really.
It was an answer from Zubel. He added and he was like, for us to treat all students fairly and equally, we prefer using emails or coaching sessions, which is much better because sometimes they can go to staff area and Safari is quite busy. So the issues
Exactly.
might not be treated or be addressed timely. So it's better to send through the email, My Career Rwanda, and then we can easily reach out to them and address it. We also have
Exactly.
spaces that they can share their concerns or queries, and they will be addressed timely. I believe you have shared the way to reach out to us, the placement and everything. I will share with alongside the records. I will share the links of how they can join these spaces easily, and then we can take it from there. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for mentioning that, Frida. Super precious as usual. Yes, so Cindy, the Google slides that I've presented, as well as the recording, will be shared with students by the end of this week, so that you have all of the information at hand. Again, all the email addresses, all the links to book sessions. Most of it is on the SPD Hub, so if you access it right now, you'll be able to navigate it. And if you have any questions, please do reach out. Joseph, I see your question. How can one become an intern at SPD? As soon as there's an opening, it will appear on the SPD Hub on the internship opportunity board. And as soon as you see it, you are most welcome to apply as anyone else is, and you would go through the hiring process that we have. Maybe Frida, if you catch up with Joseph on campus, maybe you could run him through, what the hiring process entails. Normally, it's a little interview, a discussion. We touch base. There's an assignment, and there's another interview after that, and a feedback on the assignment. And then, if all goes well, you become an intern like Frida. All right, we have 4 minutes remaining on the clock. If we have anyone who wants to raise their hand, unmute, and ask a question, you are most welcome.
Just a couple of communications before we go into the last Q&As. I've shared a form link in the chat box. I believe everyone can access it. We really value your feedback and what you think about these sessions, our offerings, how you can reach out to us and everything. So please go ahead and use the link that I shared on the chat box, and then give us your feedback. It's a very short survey, very small questions. They're not asking for 500 essay words. So feel free to give us your ideas. What do you think? What are your expectations and everything? Would really, really like to have your feedback, because we incorporate them. We actually integrate them in everything we do. Just to give you like a bit background about why we ask you to provide us this feedback. It's not for us to have data, it's for us to create an experience fit for what you were looking for. Because what would be the benefit for us to create something that you're not going to engage with? So please go ahead and fill the form. Let us know your thoughts from there. And another one thing more, we have an event, the info session, happening on Friday. I really appreciate the students that showed up on the recent one. And we have another one. We have the upcoming info session happening on Friday at 3 p.m. So plan not to miss. Plan not to miss. Look out for the invite emails that are going to be shared with you. If they are not shared with you already, please say yes to the calendar. If you want to make some more reminders, please set them, because we want not anyone to miss. We want everyone to participate in these sessions, especially the new students. You never know where opportunities can show up. So every time there are info sessions like this, be happy to join and connect and network with these people. You never know, they might be your next employers, they might be your next managers. Because personally, that's how I connected with my employers, through joining in these sessions, either being active, you know, just putting in that proactivity. It's a personal thing, but please feel free to take it as a tip that I'm sharing with you. As a new student, you have to see everything as an opportunity. I always said that ALE is a pool of opportunity, but it depends on how you play around it. So come join us on this Friday. Look out on the email invitations. Follow us on LinkedIn. Connect with us. On Instagram, we are also live. It's LU Professional Dev. So go ahead and like, comment, engage with us. Really, this is a journey we want to go on with you, not a communication that is placed somewhere on the board. Thank you so much for joining once again. Jerome, up to you.
Thanks so much, Frida. A lot of wise words there. I would say ALU is a pool of opportunity. It all depends on how you play around it. And I would say, jump in the pool, just jump, take a leap of faith, and build your self-confidence, and be okay with being uncomfortable in deeper waters. It really helps to put yourself out there. But thank you so much for the wise words, Frida. I mean, engaging with different initiatives and teams and different offerings can only be beneficial to your own journeys. Again, once again, thank you to everyone who jumped on the call. We appreciate your presence and the time you dedicated to the team. Again, I know you're 2 weeks in, but welcome again to the ALU family and the ALU community. We hope your experience will only be positive as from here on out. It might get challenging from time to time, But it's all a question of reaching out to the different teams and team members to receive the support and assistance that you need. Yes, I'll pass it on to Patrick to close the call.
All right. Thanks so much, Jerome. This was really a wonderful presentation. And thanks, Frida, for moderating the session. You are doing really well. And we can't wait to have you continue to moderate the sessions like. So I have a few things to add to what Jerome has said already. So if you can take note of them, I'll be happy. So number one, do engage with the resources that Jerome has shared. All these information, pieces of information and the resources, events and everything is meant for you and for you as students. If you don't take advantage of them, they will not be of use to you. So take advantage of those resources. Number two, try to share your thoughts, not just on this platform, but anytime you want to share something with us, you have an idea, you have something that you think the SPD should know, feel free to reach out to us, use the emails and send us an email. Tell us what you think, what you want to share, and then we can consider it. Number three, please read your emails. One of the things that we have as an issue is that students usually get so busy that they don't read their emails. I believe things may not be easy, I know, but you need to make time to read your email. So if it is once a day in a particular time, you go through all your emails. Other than that, you may miss some important information. So kindly read your emails for us, because most of the opportunities that we have are going to be sent to you through your emails. So do well to check your emails for us. Number four, register for our events. And please register for those that you are ready to attend. For example, today's event, we have about 140 something students who registered that they were going to attend. As you could see, we barely have even 90. So what it means is that some students register, but they are not interested in the event. You don't want to do that. Give us the impression that you want to attend, and that's why you're registered. So we can communicate with our partners that we have this number of students attending the event, and when they join to present, they should actually see the number as we communicate. So please, when you are registering, be sure you are attending. Number five, join our sessions and everything that you register for on time. If it is a coaching conversation that you want to have with one of us, when you register, you want to make sure you join on time. You don't want the coach to sit on the call and wait for some minutes before you join. So if there's any reason why you are not joining the coaching conversation again, let the person know ahead of time. And if it's our events, please join on time and make sure you engage. I think that is all I have for you for now. I am so happy to see that you actually engaged. The numbers are great. Thanks so much. And I wish you all the best as you begin your academic journey at ALU.
Thank you so much, Patrick.
Sure, please go ahead. Sure.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Again, wise words and great advice. I hope all of you have heard and have reheard and have taken down notes. Patrick, I appreciate you for putting this together. Frida as well for upholding the moderation. Super precious as usual, doing a fabulous work. Students, get ready to engage. We look forward to supporting you throughout this journey. We know it might be dicey and challenging sometimes, but that's what we're here for, to help you through. So again, don't hesitate to engage. We're ready for you. Yeah, excited to be supporting you on this journey. Thank you all for attending, and we'll meet very, very soon. Thank you, everyone.